time to look at the national dailies and the front page stories.
This Nigeria, MDAs struggling to pay salaries over 50% operating surplus deduction. Trade associations, workers want policy reversal. Experts urge federal government to peg policy at 20% in first instance. And of course, you look at that headline just below the masthead: police storm criminals' hideouts in FCT Kaduna forests, arrest suspects.
Okay, so first news is leading with, amidst military claims of victory, ISWAP holds public meetings in Borno, recruiting new members, proposing separate Islamic country. Not very cheering one there. And then just below that picture story, you see you have minimum wage. Father Mbaka calls for equality, says governors, lawmakers should earn 62,000 naira.
Quite an interesting request there, if you ask me. Let's go to the daily asset. Police, DSS, Army joint operation busts Abuja kidnapping syndicate. Arrests 2 ex-convicts, 2 others. Bandits abduct Catholic priest in Kaduna. And let's take a look at the headline just below the picture story there. Northern Elders Forum tasks FG on pastoralist commission.
Okay, let's see the Inquirer here. Police and military arrest bandits, ex-convicts on Abuja hills, rescue victims. Okay, how EU spends 400 million euros to dump Nigerians, other migrants in the desert. I bet this will make an interesting read.
Okay, let's look at the Authority, and it leads with the story. Soldiers killing, Army raid IPOP camp in Abia. Neutralize 6 as police stomp bandits hideout in FCT, arrest suspect, appeal to citizens to provide credible information. And just below the picture story there, you see another headline there: humanitarian crisis in Abuja as developer renders thousands homeless. That story is on page 6 of the newspaper.
Give account of loans as Serap drags Tinubu to court, asks him to account for loans by ex-presidents since 1999, asks court to call federal government to publish loan agreements obtained by former presidents. That's the lead on Nigerian pilots this morning. And then NDDC's Project Hope gets 100 hectares of agric land in Akwa Ibom on page 5.
Now to the Daily Trust. I saved Tinubu's political career. Atiku replies Shetima. That's one of the headlines just below the masthead. But the main headline there says governors spend billions on cars for lawmakers. It's misplacement of priority, activists CSO. You can find that story on page 4 of the newspaper.
Furore over VP Shetima's 21 billion naira new official mansion. As Serap, other Nigerians raise eyebrows, declare project wasteful, misplaced priority. That's the Daily News Hub headline there. And then Obasanjo Buhari, others loans details as Serap drags Tinubu to court.
The People's Daily leads with the story: troops kill 5 bandits in Kaduna LGA. As police nab 2 suspected others, recover arms, vehicles. The story is on page 5. And of course, immigration officer bags a 7-year jail term for passport fraud. That's also on page 5 of the paper.
The Daily Times, no cause for alarm over Nigeria's death profile. That's experts speaking there, say nothing wrong with obtaining loans if used judiciously for developmental projects. And then you have Tinubu actually benefited from Atiku's goodwill. That's according to Aid, says Shetima goofed.
The leadership is next, and it leads with this story on electricity tariff. Life-saving services threatened in teaching hospitals. We pay between 2.5 and 4 million naira daily to discos. CMDs lament. Stakeholders seek special tariff regime for health sector.
Okay, the business engine now. CBN probe, Tinubu's anti-corruption crusade uncovers billions in stolen funds. Page 2 has got details of that. And then you have a minimum wage showdown, governors divided. And this one would interest many Nigerians. Cooking gas price crashes to 900 naira per kg after export ban.
Blueprint. The main headline reading: Tripartite Committee submits report. Labour insists on living wage. Federal government awaits Labour leaders' return from Geneva. Reps Reform Group proposes 6-year single term for president, governors. INEC harps on inclusive elections, professionalism of personnel. Nigeria can earn $11 billion annually from livestock, that's according to minister. The federal government, states, local governments share 1.143 trillion naira for May. Aircraft carrying Malawi's Vice President Chilima, 9 others missing. Nakon completes airlift of pilgrims ahead of deadline. And the EFCC recovers 20 properties, 10 vehicles, others for Arthur Eze. No plan to revoke Fidelity, Polaris, Wema, Unity Bank's licenses. That's according to CBN. Right here, World Cup qualifiers. Benin shock Super Eagles in Abidjan. Next is the West newspaper. Southwest governors endorse state police adopt Ishewa Fuinlewa as regional anthem. Sanwo-Olu emerges forum chair. Relief for Ogun pensioners as Abiodun approves higher gratuity, reviews monthly income. Minimum wage committee submits reports, awaits Tinubu's action. Rainstorm renders 50 homeless in Ekiti. Governor promises support. Alaafin's tool, Makinde distances self from anointing any candidate, seeks peace. Also, on the ear of the newspaper, Borussia Dortmund's Karim Adeyemi grants scholarships to 10 Ibadan students. Next is the Nation newspaper. Southwest governors go into massive food production. Region rejects Yoruba agitation. Okay's state police. Sanwo-Olu is chair. And then you see the commissioners for agriculture of all the states should set up a working template which will ensure collaboration based on each state's comparative advantage. That's the quotation there. Argungu replaces Arase as PSC chair. Eagles World Cup qualification, shaky. You see that on page 31. And then Rivers, G27 lawmakers remain PDP members. Court rules they are to make laws for state, says judge. State government faults Rivers High Court judgment. Lloyd says verdict unassailable. And above the masthead, Nigeria conducive for business. Edun tells multinationals. Microsoft retains interest. Alleged 423 billion naira fraud. EFCC raises team to probe El-Rufai, others. Tinubu yet to get minimum wage tripartite committee report, and the CBN reaffirms financial stability of banks. And on the bottom strip, Sirika's in law failed to execute 2.8 billion naira contract. Ex-director tells court. Next is Daily Independent. Reps seek single tenure of 6 years for president, governors, rotation of presidency among 6 geopolitical zones. Southwest governors adopt common agenda for regional prosperity. Sanwo-Olu becomes forum's chairman. Southeast among highest in human trafficking, as according to NAPTIP. And federal government, state, local governments share 1.143 trillion naira May 2024 revenue. Again, CBN reassures on safety of banks. Tinubu appoints ex-DIG Argungu chairman of PSC. PDP silent as court declares pro-Wike lawmakers members. Court didn't say assemblymen are PDP members. This is according to Rivers Attorney General. The CSO petitions NJC over Rivers High Court judgment. Above the nameplate, National Assembly invites stakeholders over airport concession. And national minimum wage, Labour may resume strike as deadline to federal government ends today. On the bottom strip, aircraft carried Malawi's vice president missing. Next is the Guardian newspaper. Piecemeal restructuring. Row as House revives single 6-year tenure bill after 4 failed attempts. Phase out electricity subsidy. 36 governors tell federal government. 4.8 million persons at risk of acute hunger in Northeast. FAO warns. Bandits shoot soldiers, kill several persons in Niger, Katsina. Power crisis deepens as Gencos receive 4.7% of invoiced amount. Labour insists on 250,000 naira as state governors earn 6.71 trillion naira in 1 year. Embattled Rivers lawmakers remain in PDP. Court rules. Youth protest. EFCC's raid on Ondo nightclubs. That's about it for the Guardian newspaper. Next is New Telegraph. New Telegraph reads, reps seek rotational 6-year single term for president, governors, 2 vice presidents. And the rider reads, want all elections in 1 day, mandatory electronic transmission of results. Also, we have aircraft carrying Malawi vice president goes missing. Tinubu removes Arase, appoints Argungu as new PSC chair. And then customs intercepts 129,185 liters of fuel worth 90.5 million naira in the Northwest. 27 Rivers lawmakers still PDP members. Court rules. And the minimum wage, Labour awaits Tinubu's executive bill. Evening physical activity lowers blood sugar levels, as according to study. And above the masthead, CBN external debt servicing gobbed $2.19 billion in 5 months. Reassures bank customers of fund safety. Allocation, federal government, states, local governments share 1.14 trillion naira for May. And last but not least, with me here is the Vanguard newspaper. 10th National Assembly, 24 senators have no bill in 1 year. Mahi sponsored one bill before accepting ministerial appointment. Reps propose single tenure of 6 years for president, governors. Tinubu replaces IGP Arase with Argungu as chairman. A police service commission. Minimum wage. SGF receives tripartite committee report. Sanwo-Olu emerges chairman of Southwest Governors Forum. And then, above the nameplate, NDDC proposes 1.911 trillion naira as 2024 budget. PDP membership, 25 lawmakers, Rivers governments disagree over court order. And then Algon rejects 62,000 naira minimum wage. Banks borrow 10.9 trillion naira from CBN in 1 month as deposits rise 120%. Olamide.
I begin here with the platform times. Federal government, state, local government share 1.1 trillion naira May revenue. Police rescue U.S. citizen in Lagos from a suicide attempt on the 3rd mainland bridge. A Nigerian Judicial Council petition to investigate controversial Rivers High Court ruling as Women Affairs Ministry, NAPTIP, collaborate for rehabilitation of Nigerian girls rescued from Ghana. Court award 25 million naira damages against Kano government police for wrongful accusation of Rep. Dogua. Ogun residents protest alleged Oba imposition urged Governor Abiodun's intervention. And finally, ex-Amosun's aides seek President Tinubu's intervention over severance gratuity in Ogun. The story is making the front page of Platform Times.